welcome to the Red Phone Zone. This is kind of cool because what we're going to be doing here is something we have not done in a while, and it is something that we've been talking about wanting to do again. It's going to be a standalone Confessions of a Movie Snob. We did quite a few of these last summer. Seems like we did, I think we both did Iron Man 2. I did Toy Story 3, Shrek Forever After, kids movies, stuff like that. A couple of them on DVD, but it's something that we want to get back into, especially with this movie season coming up and some movies that we have some pretty high hopes for. But before we do that, there is something that we want to do that is. I'm just kind of doing this to figure out the equipment. I mean, I got my new Shure microphone here with all this nifty equipment and stuff, and I'm testing out the thing. But the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a review of the 2011 movie Paul. I mean, you can see the poster right here because I'm all snazzy and stuff like that. Yeah, it's directed by Greg Mottola. You might know him from Adventureland, Superbad, stuff like that. Yeah. That is that director. Then we also have it's starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. A lot of people have been tempted to call this like one of the Frosty Peggs, which is Shaun of the Dead, stuff like Spaced, Hot Fuzz. But it technically isn't because it was not directed by Edgar Wright, but it does star those two in the lead roles. Now, when it comes down to it, like I said, it isn't. It isn't directed by him, but it has a lot of the same feelings as like Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz or anything like that. There are some big differences that I'll get into as I go. I'd have to say that the first big difference is that it's set in the United States. I mean, both of those movies that I've talked about were set in the UK. So I mean that's a difference. I don't know that it harms the movie, but I know I do enjoy some. I do enjoy watching the British humor. I think it's funny. I just kind of like the little differences. I mean, I know it's not a big deal, but don't say the Z word instead of as we Yanks would call it the Z word. You've got red on you. Lots of little stuff like that, and it's fun to see. But this movie, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, as I said. They do play. They play Englishmen who are in the United States. They start off at Comic-Con, and they decide to do a road trip where they're going to hit all the Area 51. Supposed events, but this takes place in a universe where all that stuff is true, and they pick up an alien by the name of Paul, who is voiced by Seth Rogen, and all kinds of hilarity ensues, and good stuff like that. I guess brings up the question of did I like it? Yeah, I did like it. It was really enjoyable. Like I keep pointing out, it's really tempting to compare this to the Frosty Peggs, or the Coronado trilogy is actually what it's called, Blood and Ice Cream, but it's not really one of those movies. What it is, though, is I've likened it to the movie. What was that called? Fanboys. I'm not aware of if any of you guys have seen that, but that was a movie about a group of people who decide they're going to go across the country and steal a copy of Star Wars Episode 1 to show to their dying friend, and blah, 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 blah. The way that those two movies are alike is that they both deal with geeks, and the reason why they are different is I think that they come from two different places of the heart, so to speak. I actually think that I mean, I don't like saying it, but I didn't like Fanboys at all. I thought it was really mean spirited. I didn't think it was very true to what it's like to be a Star Wars fanboy and things of that nature. But it was we get over to Paul. Paul actually came from from a nice spot of the heart. I mean, you could tell they really love this genre. They love the geeks, and there was all kinds of good little references to geek culture in it. Just little things like some of the casting. I don't want to give away some of the casting, but it was just it was fun. I mean, it was it was to the point where it would be a throwaway line, but it wouldn't be use the Force, Luke, or it wouldn't be those huge lines. It'd be something that only those geeks out there, people like you, people like me, people like Ethan, are going to pick up on, and for the rest of them, people could go and see it as a movie like Superbad or Adventureland. You know, one of those Seth Rogen comedies, you know, with the pot smoking and, you know, oh, and, you know, all that good Seth Rogen-y goodness. Seth Rogen as the title character of Paul, I've heard it criticized. I don't agree. I actually thought that he was, you know, he was actually quite good, and in so much, you know, he definitely brought his Seth Rogen mannerisms to it. But, you know, when you're dealing with somebody like Paul, Paul came to Earth in 1963. It coincided with the Roswell landing, or 1963, 1947. So that means, you know, Paul would be, you know, a minimum of 60 years old. And so I don't really think that you really want a youthful performance there. I mean, you want somebody that, you know, that has, you don't want somebody that sounds like a kid. And Seth Rogen, you know, he's younger than I am, and I'm, you know, I think he's late 20s, something like that. But, you know, I did not find myself ever looking at the alien and say, this is a 70-year-old alien, he sounds like he's 15. He pulled it off well, I mean, and then we have our two leads, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. I mean, awesome. I mean, I just can't, you know, I can't stress enough. I mean, obviously, Simon Pegg is very good, very talented. He's somebody we've talked about on the show a lot, and, you know, we're big fans of him. We liked him in Star Trek. We love the, you know, like the Frosty Peggs, and, you know, I've just kind of enjoyed him anytime I've ever run into him. But, you know, Nick Frost, I mean, he's almost always there to, you know, supplement the Simon Pegg characters, and he's just getting better and better and better at it, and he's really becoming a delight to watch. We've got those two in the leads. We have some other people. We have Bill Hader. He plays an FBI dude. We have the main, well, antagonist of the movie was Jason Bateman, playing an FBI dude that's, you know, assigned to go after Paul by the big man, or excuse me, the big guy, and the big guy is the person that's in charge of keeping a hold of Paul, and he's running away, trying to go home, and all that stuff. I'm not going to give away the casting of the big guy. That's a lot of fun, and, you know, I challenge you to, you know, figure it out. You see the person, or rather, you don't see the person, but you do hear their voice. I knew it in about 3 seconds. Rachel didn't know it, and it just, you know, it's because she hasn't seen those movies as much as I have. You know, some of these geek movies. But overall, yeah, I liked it. I didn't think it was very mean-spirited at all. I don't think that they shoved that pothead culture down your throat or anything like that. It was fun. I 100% agree. Recommend going to see it, especially, I mean, if you like the geek culture, but you don't really feel like going in there and being insulted, you know, by being you know, represented by these morons like that were in. Keep forgetting that movie because it's just so bad. Fanboys. But yeah, I enjoy it. Absolutely, I recommend it. It's if I have to rank it against the other Simon Pegg, Nick Frost movies, it probably sits at the bottom. But, you know, it's also hasn't grown on me. I mean, like, you know, Shaun of the Dead, I liked it just fine when I first saw it, but I like it more and more and more every time I see it. Same deal with Hot Fuzz. So, yeah, absolutely, I recommend it. I will be picking it up on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. And Rachel enjoyed it a lot too. So I'm very much looking forward to that coming out. But do stay tuned over the next, you know, at least couple of months, but even the next couple of days, because Ethan and I are going to be going to a screening of Sucker Punch tonight. That's director Zack Snyder's newest effort. So that should be interesting. We're hoping to get that up there, you know, today, or rather tomorrow or the next day, just real soon, so we can get some things said about it before it actually, you know, everybody knows about it. Everybody's already seen it. But yeah, Aaron with the Red Phone Zone. We usually try to get our shows up on Wednesday night. But yeah, so stay tuned and look for a whole bunch more reviews coming up, because they're fun. We like doing them. It's also fun to sit here by yourself and not have to, you know, defend what you're saying to other people and, you know, things like that. So yeah, absolutely check it out. But until then, yeah, check us out on redphonezone.com. Peace out.